The Backyard Naturalists podcast is presented by Backyard Birds in Matthews, North Carolina. Backyard Birds offers a unique in-store shopping experience highlighting the joy and excitement of attracting wildlife with the finest quality seed and the best quality bird feeders, bird houses, bird baths, and more. Bringing people of all ages together with nature and wildlife, Backyard Birds has everything you need to create your own backyard natural habitat. Connect with Backyard Birds at thebirdfoodstore.com or on social media. Now, here's Debbie and Laurie, the Backyard Naturalists.
Welcome to the Backyard Naturalists, the podcast about anything and everything related to nature. Thanks for joining us again for this episode. We have a couple of goals for episodes. We always want someone to have a whoa moment with every single episode. I see Chris bringing his microphone over.
I have a whoa moment.
Okay.
And we talked about this on an episode. Depending on when this episode airs, this may or may not be the first time anybody or anyone has heard this news. But you got, however, there's always a but. There's always
this
a
is
however.
A good but.
Semicolon, however, comma. You guys, the Backyard Naturalist podcast, heard in 107 countries in all 50 states. And well over by now, 30,000 people have been selected as the best podcast by the readers of the Matthews Mint Hill Weekly.
That's mind-boggling.
And we go back, you may hear Laurie, Debbie, and I talk about this a couple of times. I was after them for so long. We need a podcast. We don't want to do a podcast, Chris. No, but you need a podcast.
No, we don't.
We've told you we do not want a podcast. And you took a leap of faith and you did it. And I think
actually, it was more like you just wore a slap out. We thought, you know what, we're going to bomb, and then he'll go, okay, never mind, I was wrong.
And I think there may have been a conversation between you two ladies, and it went something like, just let him get it out of his system.
Hello again.
Just let him get it out of his system, and I'm glad you did. And you've got an award-winning podcast, and we couldn't be happier. And I think your guest is with us now, so I'm going to quit talking.
Okay.
I heard him come in, so you guys go record a podcast.
All right, we'll do that. So the second goal we have that we're going to talk about today is we want engagement from our listeners, and it was interesting to us when we started this. It was kind of slow to start that process, but now we're starting to see people make comments, ask questions, give us some feedback, and we would love to see more of that. You never know when there might be a prize in play. You just never know. So chime in on our Facebook page, send us an email, whatever, just let us know. Shifting into something that precedes our topic today, if you think about summer is for hummers. Everybody loves hummingbirds. I've never heard a single person say, I hate those little birds.
So sick of those hummingbirds coming around.
Yeah, all they do is just fuss and fight and carry on, make a mess. No, you never hear that about hummingbirds. Maybe because it's the size. I don't know. Maybe because they're so beautiful.
It's usually, look.
Yeah,
hurry before he flies away.
Yeah. So we are lucky in this area to have a lot of different nature preserves and parks. We really have a huge number within, what would you say, maybe 30 miles of this area, a lot of them in Matthews that we can walk or drive to. So we are really fortunate to have that. There is a nature center named Reedy Creek Nature Center, and for years they had a Hummingbird Festival. And it was a day-long event, and people turned out in droves to the point that they had to bus them in from outlying areas. It was so much fun. So we have brought in the director of that nature center, Pepe Chavez, and he is also, in addition to being the Reedy Creek Nature Center director, he is also with the National Association for the Interpretation Board of Directors. And like me, he is a Central Carolinas Master Naturalist. In fact, we were both in the first Central Carolinas Master Naturalist class. Laurie and I, are big fans of the festival. When it was the live festival with a day-long event, what did you enjoy most, Laurie?
The interest that brought people, the people came in with a huge interest in the hummingbirds, and they wanted to learn about them.
Yeah,
they really did.
I taught classes for the festival for years, and man, you talk about some enthusiastic, eager people. They loved being part of that. They loved getting the information. So it was a fabulous experience there. Now, we've got some questions for you, Pepe, so that you can help people who have never been to this event understand what it was like and what it's going to be like this year.
The first one is, why do you think it's important to have this event?
Well, first off, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I am very excited. Honestly, we stumbled upon this festival as an event roughly about 16 years ago with Park and Recreation. And I think that's what made it so successful. People are very fascinated about these small birds. You know, the fact that they are about 2 inches long, less than 2 grams, really, really small birds.
And just to give people a frame of reference, 2 grams is about the weight of a paper clip, I think.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're extremely light. And the fact that they can, number one, fly extremely fast, move their wings very, very fast, travel very long distances. I think for us humans, we find that just fascinating.
How far do they travel on average?
So hummingbirds, what we know is that they travel all the way from the southern part of Canada all the way to Central America. So imagine that paperclip weighted bird traveling about 500 miles, sometimes, farther all the way to Central America. 500
or 5,000?
Sorry, it's roughly about 500 miles.
Okay. That's amazing. So we're going to do a 2-part series with this, where Pepe's going to come back at another time and recording the plan B, the part B for this. But today we're just going to talk about the event itself, so you can decide, do I want to be part of this? Do I want to be able to attend some of the things that are being offered? So let's go ahead and start talking about this year's festival.
When is the festival happening this year?
Well, that is something that we had to change. Like you mentioned, our site was not built for the audiences and the success that we found in the community. So we shifted our event from a full-blown one-day festival from 9 to 4 to a week-long celebration. So now, instead of hosting what we used to call Hummingbird Festival, now we celebrate Hummingbird Week. So now we have events all week long to celebrate this small feathered friends.
And let's talk about this event, this week's.
So what we're doing is we're stretching it over a week, and we have about a dozen different events at all nature centers operated by Mecklenburg County. So folks on the south end, if you're closer to the Steel Creek area, you can go to McDowell Nature Preserve. If you are in the university area, you can come closer to Reedy Creek or Stevens Creek Nature Preserve. Or on the west side of town, we can go to Latta at Quest at Latta.
That's wonderful.
There's a little bit of everything for everyone. We have scavenger hunts, breakfast with the birds, so you can have a nice meal by the bird feeders. We were going to talk about gardening with hummingbirds, how to attract them to your backyard, having guided hikes, preschool programs, story time, and of course, we finished this week-long celebration with the grand finale of Susan Campbell coming out to Reedy Creek and doing some demonstrations on hummingbird banding.
And she's doing that 2 days, I believe?
Correct. Now she will be doing that on Saturday and Sunday, August 19th and 20th from 8 a.m. to noon.
Okay. That sounds like there's something for all age groups, all geographic locations, no matter where you are in this greater region, and even within driving distance for people who are outside this region.
Oh, absolutely. Last week, it was interesting to see the very first person that came to the bird banding at 8 a.m., and it was a gentleman that drove all the way from Hickory.
Oh, wow. Which is about what? About an hour from here. That's dedication there. That's awesome. Now, I know that people probably heard a lot of things and that you listed and thought, wow, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. So give them a place where they can find all this information online and sign up if it's necessary for them to sign up.
So it's super easy. If folks go to parkandrec.com to the website, and there will be a red button that says Find Programs or Activities. That's where you can register for the programs. And all you have to do is on the first screen search for the term Hummingbird Week. Then all those events will be listed there.
And is there a fee for any of these events?
Most of them are free. We still understand that this is a celebration, a community event. So a lot of these programs are free. Some of them may have a small cost recovery fee. For example, breakfast with the birds. Because folks that are visiting us, they'll be provided with a nice warm breakfast. There is a small fee to that.
Are there age ranges for any of these activities?
Most of the programs that we have are family-oriented, so they are for all ages. Ideally, for example, bird banding, it's open to all audiences. We recommend folks at least to be 14 years old or older. But for breakfast, for crafts, for story time, it's a family celebration.
And what about the hikes? Are these accessible to people who have some mobility issues?
So one thing that we have done, and this is an effort as a department with Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation, is to make sure that our programs are inclusive. So anytime anybody needs a modification to successfully participate in the program, we provide that. Of course, hummingbirds, they are highly attracted to our feeders around the nature center. So we don't really have to go on a very strenuous hike to find them.
Yeah, you literally step out of the building and look around the corner. I've been there and done that before. Well, This sounds wonderful. So let's sum up here. When does it start this year?
So we start this week on Monday, August 14th, and it goes all the way through August 20th.
All right.
And with events all week long, every single day. And then Saturday and Sunday, that's when we have the grand finale with the bird banding.
And that is only at Reedy Creek on Saturday and Sunday, correct?
Correct.
So you want to make sure that you go to the parksandrec.com website and find this schedule so that you can plan ahead and you can choose your location and you can decide what's appropriate for you and your families. But I will tell you, I have seen the hummingbird banding before and you don't want to miss that. That's an opportunity to really learn about these tiny little birds and to get to see them up close and personal. What a wonderful thing for people to participate in and learn about. This is just so much fun, Pepe.
Yeah, this has been a great way to connect with different demographics. I've gone into the community to do a few programs in Spanish, and the folks that I talk to, they are from those countries in Central America, or they have relatives in those countries. And they get super excited to see those birds that they saw outside their window, in their backyard. And now they see them here, 1,500 miles away.
Wow. That begs another question. Do you have any type of interpreting services?
We do. Again, I will be here Saturday and Sunday. And if folks need any other type of accommodation to participate in our programs, all they have to do is check that box during registration.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for joining us today to share this information so that people can participate in this.
No, it is my pleasure. Always glad to be here.
Now, as a reminder, if you've enjoyed this and you're intrigued by this, you want to come back next week for the part B of this, which is going to be all about the hummingbird banding. It's just fascinating to see this process. So make sure, put this on your calendar, go ahead and register for what you want because I'm sure that they can't accommodate 500 people for breakfast with the birds most likely. So you want to go ahead and get your name on the list and put it on your calendar as well. I'm Debbie.
And I'm Laurie.
We're the Backyard Naturalist and we're signing off.
While recording the Backyard Naturalist podcast, Debbie and Laurie enjoy coffee provided by the Good Cup Coffee Company in Matthews, North Carolina. Follow Good Cup Coffee on Instagram and look for them at the Matthews Community Farmers Market this Saturday morning.